Okay, so it's the 3rd of May 2021. Tonight's class is on Everything Changes, which sounds like the start of a Take That song, doesn't it? I realised when I wrote that. So why bother? Why bother meditating and contemplating that everything changes? I want to check whether everything changes, actually, as a first step. Check whether this is a valid proposition, correct idea. There is such a thing as a correct idea. It's a better way to say that. Check whether this is how we experience the world. Check whether it's true, valid, that everything changes. And then the next bit is to why bother? Well, we tend to cause ourselves anxiety and stress and worry because even though intellectually we know things change, emotionally our reactions give us away that we think things are permanent. Sometimes people are absolutely devastated and shocked when they lose their job, when they lose a loved one, when they're told they have 3 months to live. And this emotion from it is completely human. It's we can't deny our humanity, our humanness, and we mustn't stuff our grief down forever, because at some point we need to be unburdened from it. It's a natural part of life. And also we can take things too seriously. On a lighter note, we can take things too seriously because we think they're permanent. We can worry about things tomorrow or the day after. Excuse me, our mood. We can worry about our mood. Our mood's not permanent. And that's going to change. And we mentally panic if we're in a certain mood or state of mind. We mentally panic because within that is our perception that this thing's permanent. If we were really quite aware that a headache or a dark mood or whatever it might be is going to be there for only a period of time, stand much more chance of sitting it out or whatever we need to do. Things that are true bring our mind to peace, calm our mind down. And things that are not true disturb our mind. We know that from lying and telling the truth on a basic level as children. If we tell a lie, it tends to disturb our mind. We worry about it. We feel guilty or shame or whatever. Or we worry that somebody's going to catch us out. We worry that we've got to remember what it is we've said, and we tell lies on top of lies. And when we tell the truth, we don't have to remember anything, which is one of the reasons I like telling the truth, because I've got a terrible memory. And we can relax then. So things that are true bring our mind to rest. And the nature of existence is just another thing that we can look at in terms of what is true and what is false. And what is false is that things are permanent. Things around us are permanent. We are permanent. And what is true, if we check, everything's in flux. Everything's in constant change. Science at one point believed that there were atoms that were unchanging, solid little building blocks of the universe, atoms that were unchanging. And that was found to be untrue, totally false, totally wrong, totally false. I mean, what science did find was that there was smaller, closer up things going on, tinier things happening. But it didn't find solid individual building blocks. It thought it did. But then, lo and behold, inside the atom, it found neutrons protons, electrons. And then it looked further and it found subatomic particles. And then it looked further and it found smaller subatomic particles. And then it looked closer and you get probability and waves and things. It gets a bit wacky, but it doesn't get permanent. Even the wave, the level of looking at things as waves and probability, it's not permanent. A wave basically functions, changes. So science backs this up, or science actually finds the same thing that Buddhists found 2,500 years ago. Now, they didn't have electron microscopes and hadron colliders and things, but there is witnessing things with our senses, and there is making sense of the world through our logical reasoning. And throughout history, these two things have been argued from one side to the other with philosophers, but actually, I don't think they're in argument with each other. If we have spiritual experiences, if we contemplate deeply, then we tend to come to the same recognition. So using our logical reasoning, we can say, well, things that function have to be impermanent, because anything that's functioning is moving, and anything that's moving is impermanent, because permanence has no movement. It has no change. Permanence can't change. But something that can't change can't interact. It can't merge. It can't separate. It can't split. It can't divide. It can't get warmer or colder. It can't change its surface. It can't do anything. Anything that's permanent is completely and utterly unchangeable forever. Anything that's totally unchangeable cannot meet with another thing, because as soon as they meet, there's interaction, and therefore the mind isn't capable of seeing permanent things. It can't experience them because it has to interact with them. So philosophers for millennia have established this through reason, and then science establishes it through observation. So they're not in conflict. They're not in conflict. The ideas side of things is looking at things through rationalism, and the science part is looking at things through empiricism, through observation, through our senses, through our five senses. And these senses and our experience, they trick us. We experience things as permanent. And what the meditation we're going to do tonight is to build up a view of everything in flux, everything in constant change. And we're going to hold that as our experience. So we don't have to believe it. We don't have to check it wholly. What we can do is we can adopt a view and see how that affects our mind. Because these are just tools and techniques and methods. So we do something, see how it affects our mind. If it does what we want it to do, we can do more of it, see if it still works. Really simple, really simple. We don't have to get into heavy philosophy. We don't have to get into particle physics or anything else. We don't have to argue about this. We don't even have to believe it. We can disbelieve it and try it and see what effect it will have. Just adopt a view, impartially. Adopt a view, hold an image of the world in total change. And when we do that, we include us, because this body is in constant change, couldn't move. If it was permanent, would have no movement. Our thoughts, we can observe, are in constant flux. We never get a thought come in, stop. We don't get a thought come in, stop, and then carry on. Doesn't happen, does it? We don't go, oh, I'm worried about work, blah, blah, blah. I've got to pick up some washing, stop. And then I've got to drive home and blah, 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 blah. It's not what happens, is it? It's just thoughts are just coming, going and coming and going, and constant change. And our feelings, a bit more subtle, because feelings can feel like they're sticking around for a while. But there's an arc to a feeling. It comes and it goes. And often, excuse me, often this is most evident when we go to sleep with a certain emotion and we wake up in the morning and it's gone. So we might go to bed quite angry or upset, frightened, worried, concerned, anxious, and we wake up in the morning and we feel a lot better. So that thing that felt permanent at night that we were worrying about how to fix it and what to do to solve it in the morning, it's gone because it was impermanent. It's gone. So body, thoughts, and feelings are impermanent. And there's two levels of impermanence. There's gross impermanence. Well, we can say there's two levels: gross impermanence and subtle impermanence. Gross impermanence is things like the weather changing, the seasons changing, the gradual change that we perceive, gradual change like that. That's gross impermanence. I'm born, therefore I'll die. That's gross impermanence. Subtle impermanence is everything changing within each moment, constant change, constant flow. That's subtle impermanence. Less easy to spot than the seasons changing, but with science and with rationalism and these different kinds of ways of thinking and observing, we can check, is subtle impermanence the reality? And then we hold that view. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little meditation. We'll do a body relaxation and breathing meditation to start with. And then we're going to do an impermanence, subtle impermanence meditation, and just hold that idea. And then we can check at the end what effect it's had on our mind. Okay, so please get yourself comfortable. Bring your awareness to your body. Notice that little things happen in our experience of our body. We have little niggles or stinging pains or irritation. And as soon as I mention that, I've got one on my head and I need to scratch. And that's sort of what happens. We sort of have this bizarre interaction with these things when we start to notice them. But we're just noticing the impermanence of our experience to do with our body. Now, please bring your awareness to your thoughts, images and thoughts in your mind. If a thought in the mind was permanent, there would be no capacity to have any other thoughts. That one thought would just be there forever. We can check, is this the case? Has there ever been permanent thought in the mind? If there is, it's still here and nothing else can come in. We can do the same exercise with our feelings. We can notice our feelings. Bring our awareness into our body, notice our feelings. And are our feelings permanent? We always have the same feeling forever. Now, we know the answer, but it's important for meditation practice, for discipline, the depth of appreciation of this, to ask the simple questions anyway, and to check. Have my feelings been the same one forever? What's our evidence? And if we know from evidence that our feelings change, then we know they're impermanent. We've met with our body and our thoughts and our feelings and checked them for permanence or impermanence. What's the truth of them? Now we're going to relax the body and we're going to mix it with the impermanence and permanence idea. Please bring your awareness to your face. Let your face muscles relax. If any part of the face was permanent, it couldn't change. We know we can move our face. Is any part of it permanent? If something's permanent, it's indestructible. It lasts forever. If it lasts forever, then we would have the face we were born with. We can check, do I have that pretty little face I was born with? It's gone. This one will go, and the next, and the next. So we relax the face, relax the jaw muscles, because only do this. We can only relax because the nature of our face is impermanence. Now, please bring your awareness to your left shoulder and scan down your arm. Look for any tension or tightness and relax it up. And we can only do this because our aches and pains and tensions are not permanent. Check, relax up. And now the same from the right shoulder. Check for any tension or tightness. Notice that it can be let go of quite easily. It can be relaxed. And the same from the left hip, scanning down the thigh, the calf, the feet, the toes. And now the right hip, the same thing. Scan down. So we've relaxed our limbs. Our limbs move. Therefore, they're impermanent, which means that in each moment, our limbs are ceasing to exist and coming into existence, and ceasing and coming into existence. Otherwise, they'd be static forever. Total changing flow. Now we're going to bring our awareness to our shoulders and our neck. Relax them. If we're grieving, we can sometimes get, one of the effects can be like whiplash in our shoulders and neck. It can become incredibly painful, like a road accident. And it passes because it's impermanent. Pain is impermanent. We feel like that when we have it. And now bring your awareness into your body, and we're going to visualize black smoke inside of our body cavity swirling around. And bound up in it is our very deep tendency to experience things and perceive things as permanent, form of our ignorance. And with 3 nice steady deep out breaths, we can visualize this black smoke coming out with our breath into the distance and taking with it a perception of our wrong perception of permanence. And then we bring our breathing back to its normal rhythm. We can only breathe because our whole breathing system and the air around us can move. So there is existence. The whole of existence requires impermanence. It needs to move. Life only exists because the nature of everything is change and impermanence, moment by moment. And because there's impermanence, there's life. And because there's impermanence, there's death. All the joys, all the beautiful experiences we have, and the poignancy, and the laughs, and the fun, it comes because things are impermanent. And the heartaches, and the frustrations, and the grief, and the sadness come exactly from the same thing, the yin and the yang, the flow of life. Now we imagine beautiful golden light coming in through our nostrils. And as we breathe in, we imagine this beautiful golden light brings with it the wisdom that recognizes everything changes constantly. The golden light itself, sparkling away, is constant change. Everything it touches inside of us is in constant change. Imagine it comes in through your nostrils and starts to permeate your body, the vast space of your beautiful mind. Your beautiful mind being stillness. So there's constant change inside of us, and outside of us, scientists tell us from evidence, from scientific method, that the whole universe is changing. All the content of the universe is constantly changing. Now we're going to do some breathing meditation. As you breathe in, recognize the impermanence of the air that you're breathing in. It's changing, it's flowing, it's swirling around in your nostrils. Your diaphragm is moving, your lungs are moving. Life itself is occurring because of the beautiful impermanence of things. Breathing in and breathing out. And we bring our awareness to the sensations in the nostrils as we breathe in and out. And again, they're impermanent, they're in constant flux. Cool changes to warm, changes to cool, changes to warm. We can observe these ever-changing sensations inside the nostril line as we breathe naturally. As you breathe, be totally accepting of as you are. If you're sad, breathe and be sad. If you're happy, breathe and be happy. And now we bring our awareness to the very rims of the nostrils. We notice exactly the same things. We're focusing further. The cool and the warm change. And this we bring our awareness back to if our mind wanders away. Be aware of the cool and the warm ever changing. They're coming into existence and going out of existence in the same moment. And in the same way, you are brand new in every moment. Not bits of you. There's nothing that's permanent of you. Everything is brand new in each moment. The whole universe has a fresh start, completely clean and fresh in each moment. In each moment, we are born, in effect. In each moment, we die. There's stuff inside our heart that we have to unburden, grief and trauma, and we need to heal. There's no one carrying those things. They're there, they have no owner. In each moment, the experience of an owner dies, and in each moment, the experience of an owner is born fresh. And you're beautifully perfect in each moment, fresh and clean and pure and new. Not baloney, it's not a myth, it's not a belief. It can't be any other way, otherwise this wouldn't be functioning. Now what I'd like you to do is to develop adopt um, an awareness of the whole universe in constant change. Not the universe around you, but the universe around you and within you. Within the space of you and the space beyond you, the same space. It's our illusions that make us feel they're different spaces. Constant flux of the whole universe. So if your mind wanders away, just come back and readopt this view of the whole universe in constant change. This is what we come back to when our mind wanders away. So there aren't permanent things in flux changing. Everything is completely brand new in each moment. That's what we're holding as a view. Including the witnessing experience of this, including the meditator, the witnessing experience. Leave nothing out. Just trying it on as a view. So for the next few minutes, everything, the whole experiencer, the experiencing, the image of a totally fresh universe in each moment that we come back to and regenerate when our mind wanders away. So the mind wanders away and we just pop back and we regenerate this image of the whole universe, fresh in each moment, and the next, and the next, and the next, including the space within us, around us, our body, our thoughts, our feelings. If you believe in the soul, include that. If it's a soul that functions, it has to be impermanent. Nothing is left behind. So we don't need to believe this even. We can disbelieve it even. We'll try it on, like trying a jacket on or a pair of shoes. Certain pairs of shoes will walk in a certain way with a certain gait. They have comfort or discomfort. We can try views on like this. It keeps us very light, so we don't have to argue all the time about whether something's true or not. We can just try it in our mind, see what it does. Stay light about it. If we want, we can investigate with people like we have tonight in different ways. If you're practicing this at home, you can just straight away decide for the next 10 minutes or 15 minutes or today, when your mind comes back into the moment, going to regenerate the whole universe as subtly impermanent, constantly in change. And we can get up in in the morning and have this as our day, and see at the end of the day, or an hour or 10 minutes, how we feel afterwards. And if you do this for a day, each time your mind comes back, you'll have a much better, deeper experience of its impact on your mind and whether it brings deeper and deeper peace. True things bring peace. False things disturb our mind. There's no need for dogma. We can just try things out. The person who started listening to this class has ceased completely. The person who is giving this class has ceased completely. And a new one is here in each moment. So thank you for joining in. Thanks for joining in the class. Hope you enjoyed it. And, we'll be doing the same class on Thursday for a little bit longer. We'll come back to that, and then there'll be other classes in the weeks coming, assuming I don't become grossly impermanent in the meantime. Okay. Right. Well, thanks for joining in.
Cheers, Paul.
Pleasure.
I like that. All right, one. I'm wondering if you could send me a link to that one.